pivotal in this fight. How did you score it, first of all?
So you know what? I had it way closer than that, man. Them scorecards are absolutely fucking bollocks. This shows what I was talking about before at the press conference about them having Craig on the left side of the poster. They didn't really want him to win. That was so wide, it was unbelievable. BUATSI had to dig super deep in there. Both guys had to dig deep. If it was 1 point either way, a draw or something like that, to have them scorecards was ridiculous, man. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not impressed. It's kind of disappointing that people come and watch and pay their money to have to go through that for them scorecards. These guys do it all the time, man. Matchroom, they're fucking known for this bullshit.
What do you think is next for Craig? Because he still showed he still belongs at that level, and the guy can fight, man.
I don't know. Look, listen. These guys don't respect Craig. That's the be-all and end-all. I'm not being funny. These guys don't respect Craig. You know what I mean? They use him as the man, the go-to man that people come and fight. And time after time after time, he proved them wrong. Tonight here, he put up a hell of a performance, and it wasn't shown on the scorecards. You know, in them last 4 or 5 rounds going in, BUATSI was hurt a few times and had to hold and struggle. Come on, that's not a man that won. What is it? 16, 12, 16. What? I didn't know. It's a mad score. Bro, I can't even bother. No, I'm not even in the mood. These people just frustrate me, man. Seriously.
Ooh, what's good, family? Shout out to the boss man, Don Dougie, for boosting up your man the YB coin. So we just heard there from your mans, Dean Warren. Yeah, Dean Warren airing out Eddie, Silver Spoon, Hearn. Now, listen, let me be honest with you, man. I gotta give Eddie some credit now. To be fair, I'm sure Eddie knows what's coming. Eddie knows the YB wick about to be all the way up inside his grill. Yeah, he's clocked on. I don't care what no one says. Eddie knows what's coming from the YB, and on that basis, he knows what to do now. He thinks he's smart. Yeah, let me give you a little bit of history here. After Bivol beat Canelo, yeah, you best believe your man the YB got on Eddie's neck. And shortly after that, about the rematch at 168, I said, Eddie, do your job, do your fiduciary job, and get Bivol the rematch at 168. That's what must happen now. Anyway, 2-2s. After that, Eddie hadn't said nothing about it. I put the video out, yeah, 2-2s. Eddie said, maybe, 2-2s, yeah, about a few days later, after my video came out, airing him out, telling him to do his job, yeah, and get the rematch at 168, Eddie starts saying, the rematch at 168 might be interesting. But guess what? He mentioned that a few times. What that does is, to the casual fans, to the low IQ dons, yeah, they hear that, and that settles their concerns. They say, YB, there can't be a big conspiracy against you, or there can't be a big conspiracy against Bivol to shaft him of the 168 rematch, because look, Eddie's saying it's a possibility. But guess what? What do we know now? 2 weeks later, how many times have you heard Eddie Hearn say, yeah, we're pushing for Bivol versus Alvarez at 168? Oops, yeah? All we hear about is Bomelo versus Triple G spot. All we hear about is, Bomelo versus Triple G, and then the rematch at 175. You ain't heard a lick about 168. Now, why do I tell you that? Listen, 2-2s. Tonight, yeah? Eddie comes out in the post-fight interview and says, yeah, listen, it was a close fight, it was a draw, probably going to be a rematch, and it was 115, 113 is probably as far as I'd go. Why is that relevant? Well, the same kind of thing, because guess what? A few hours later now, in another interview, Eddie's saying nothing about no rematch. He's saying, BUATSI needs to compete for a world title now. Do you understand? He knows what he's doing. He knows the YB wick coming for him. He knows it. Yeah, Eddie get a good wicking from the YB 100%. But anyway, listen, it's all relevant because Dean Warren has clocked on. Yeah, Dean Warren's clocked on to Eddie Hearn in his little ways. He thinks he's smart, you see. He thinks he's too smart. Eddie ain't too smart. Not for the YB. You think he's smart though? You think he's super on it? Oh yeah, what we'll do is we'll bait and switch everyone. We'll get everyone gassed about it. Because everyone knows, yeah, I got a video coming in a minute. Everyone knows Richards vs BUATSI was the definition of a draw. Nothing in that fight. Not even a smidgen was in that fight. Yeah? And bear in mind, BUATSI is supposed to be some big hard-ass A-side. There was no A-side to be had. It was 50-50. Yeah? Everyone was telling me, the bookies had it that Craig Richards was going to get knocked out. That's just what it was. Yeah? The odds were Craig Richards was going to get knocked out cold tonight. Oops. Yeah? And guess what? we didn't see none of that. In fact, if you go based on who was most likely to be stopped, it was that 7th round. Or the 8th round. Whatever round it was that one. BUATSI had his pack smoked. Yeah? That's just what it was. Now again, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that did Craig Richards leave it all out there? He didn't again. It was an improvement on the Bivol fight. Richards definitely improved from the Bivol fight. The Bivol fight, he barely let his hands go at all, but that was definitely an improvement, but still, he didn't leave it all out there. And again, he even said himself, oh, I probably should have done more. Again, we told you that last time. I'm sick of these fighters, oh, I should have done this. But you knew that after the Bivol fight. After the Bivol fight, you said, oh, I should have done this. How many times you need to be... And I get it. The problem is, you see, the true issue is, these guys, they're delusional. The truth is, you didn't want to get stuck in like that. That's the truth. Yeah? Castaño, when he fought Charlo at the other weekend, yeah, he was prepared to go sleep to win. Yeah? And rather than be honest, what Richards needs to say is, the truth is, I weren't prepared to go sleep to win tonight. That's it. That's just the truth. You weren't. You were... And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying I would either. Can I sit here and tell you I'd be willing to go sleep to win? No, I can't. But I'm gonna... you best believe, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. Listen, 100%. If you see the YB go in there, yeah, and not put it on the line, I'm gonna come out and say, listen, I ain't gonna lie to no one. I just didn't really want to get stuck in. Oops. Yeah, that's the truth. Not, oh, well, you know, what did he say? Oh, well, you know, I probably should have done this. No, you probably shouldn't have done anything. You know what you needed to do. Yeah? The question is, did you or did you not leave it all out there? You ain't do that. I'm not saying, to be fair, neither did BUATSI, but you was the B-side. You knew what needed to be done. Anyway, listen, bottom line is, man, the fight was a draw. Simple as that. 2-2s. Dean Warren comes in hot and aired out Eddie. Exposed all the inner workings. We know, don't forget, people. Bumillion Shite, also known as Dillian White. He's been working with Dean, yeah, his husband, or ex-husband, and they know all the inner workings. And your man Dean went in, airing Eddie out. Eddie's shows are always like this. Eddie always has to fix in. I'm hearing now as well, apparently Eddie is looking at some sort of libel suit now against Dean, because obviously Dean's an insider. Yeah, Dean's got a bit of social media clout, so someone like Dean coming out, it's different. Listen, Eddie knows he ain't sending no libel on the YB, because Eddie's lawyers will get chopped up and sent home with their head in a box. That's what will happen, no doubt about it, 100%. But people like Dean, Eddie's lawyers can touch Dean. Do you understand? And so don't be shocked don't be shocked, Jay, if all of a sudden you see Dean Warren turn into Dean Hearn. You'll say, oh yeah, apples and pears. All of a sudden, yeah, you'll hear Dean Warren start saying apples and pears, and I got a car to sell you, I got a great motor to sell you. That's what you hear him start saying. Oh, Matchroom's the best, and apples and pears. That's what's coming next. Because you best believe it, Dean Warren are going to wake up in the morning with some sort of legal action against him because he exposed the inner workings of Rematch Room. And I think it's too funny that now, of course, Eddie has control here, but really, BUATSI versus Richards is another Rematch Room special. I don't care what no one says. It's a Rematch Room special. Eddie loves a rematch, doesn't he? And that's the truth. I'm sure all you BUATSI fans can lie to yourselves. BUATSI had his pack smoked. That's just what it is. Relatively speaking. Don't forget, people, Richards was a 6-1 underdog. Yeah? And I'm sorry, when you go in there with a 6-1 underdog and you end up 50-50, nearly stopped, you best believe it's a draw. Yeah? That's what it was. Fair play to Dean White. Fair play to Dean Warren. Yeah? Airing out Eddie. That's what he needs to do. Someone needs to air him out. Because I'm not down for all this bait and switch business. Stick with it. Yeah? What do I mean by that? Well, Eddie, when you say, yeah, the Bivol rematch at 168 makes sense, stick with it. Don't say that, and then a week later, when you think you've bait and switched everyone, all of a sudden you ain't mentioned it once. Same with this thing. Eddie comes out, oh, it was pretty much a draw, and the rematch makes sense. Now all we hear, oh well, BUATSI needs the B-World title. What happened to the rematch you was pushing after the fight? You think you're smart, yeah? The YB onto you. No doubt. That's what he is. So Dean Warren on Eddie Hearn neck. I ain't gonna lie, Dean was funny. Someone said in the comments, how can Dean be so mad about scorecards that he didn't even know what they were? Okay, now that is quite a classic joke, to be fair. Yeah, Dean White's out here ranting about the scorecards and he don't even know what 2/3 of them were. And as it happens, I can't lie, as far as rematch room scorecards go, I think it's clear, yeah, that Eddie Hearn has told his people. And don't forget, what do we know? Well, when that Josh Taylor versus Jack Casserole fight happened, yeah, and all of a sudden, I think it was the BBBOC or something, or someone basically started to try and get the police involved. Eddie Hearn came out and said, "Oh, it's absolutely, what's the word he used? Oh, it's an absolute farce that they're trying to get the police involved." And Eddie was proper kicking off, as if he was almost sweating under the collar. Do you get what I'm saying? He was proper kicking up at first. In my mind, I was thinking, is it a farce? What is it? I mean, if it was me, if I was the promoter, yeah, and my shows were completely legal, why would it be a farce? I'd be like, great. It only helps our shows. Because if other promoters are rigging shows, it only helps us to prove our shows are clean. And if it means that Frank Warren gets caught slipping, great for us. So the only way it's a farce to get police involved is if you're sweating that you've got some stuff that might be uncovered, is it not? Explain to me. If your stuff's all kosher, what would be the problem with the police being involved? Oops. Yeah? 100%. So I think what's happened is, when people started mentioning police, Eddie thought, you know what, I better tighten this up. Because don't forget, people, the Canelo one, that Canelo versus Bivol thing would have been 9-3 Canelo. Yeah? If that Jack Casserole thing hadn't happened and the police get mentioned, plus the MTK stuff, Kinahan stuff, you best believe Bomelo would have beat Bomelo would have beat Bivol 9-3 or 10-2. And Eddie would have been saying, yeah, well, I'm sorry, it's a 10-2 fight. Yeah, well, cracking fight from Bomelo. Yeah. Sorry, I only really gave Bivol 2 rounds. And the same with this one. Eddie's told his judges, listen, it's getting a bit hot right now. So from now on, we're going to stick with a 115, 113 gang. And that's what he's been doing. Oops, what, you think it's a coincidence? Bomelo versus Bivol, 115, 113. Richards versus this cat, BUATSI, 115, 113. Come on. You got to be having a laugh. Yeah? I'm pretty sure it wasn't Katie Taylor and the other one the same. Well, either way, listen. Eddie, Dean Warren on your neck right now. Yeah? Richards versus BUATSI. That's the rematch we want. But I'm sorry, but in Monopoly, yeah? In Monopoly, you have to pass go to collect. BUATSI didn't pass no go. He's still there. He's still at Richards' level. Yeah? Must rematch. No doubt.